Mike, we are live. Good morning.
We're here at the Secret Stash, Christian.
Another beautiful, wonderful episode of Live from the Secret Stash. I am Christian Cortez, joined always by Michael Zapsik.
And the lovely Julia Zapsik.
Hey,
folks, how we doing?
How you doing, man? How you doing today?
We are doing fabuloso.
You feel like talking nerdy to me today?
Let's talk nerdy, Christian.
All right, so what's first on the docket?
Tell me.
All right, let's see. I keep pulling up old notes by
I
accident.
know.
Sorry, people.
Stop
All right.
Okay,
So-
we do have notes. So here we go. Here are our notes. Actually, we didn't have anything. We unfortunately ended up doing a lot of talking as we were setting up. So we're done, guys. We've had our.
All right,
we've
so
had our
see you.
podcast
Thanks for
the
tuning in.
podcast.
Thanks
See you
for
later.
tuning. It's a 5-minute show
Yeah,
today.
later.
Not even.
We completely botched the first rule of podcasting, which is
Save it.
Save it for the podcast. Exactly.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Well, tell you what. Why don't we start with? Actually, we can start with Comics College if you like.
I'd like to.
Why don't we do that?
So, Mike, last week, for all those who remember, gave me Giant Size X-Men in a wonderfully
The
bind
Marvel
book.
Master Works. Yes, I gave you
Volume.
it's the beginning of the new X-Men, the new International X-Men, which actually comes with some backstory.
Mhm.
And you had asked me about that.
I did.
You asked, why are there, I think it's 5 or 6 editions of the
Yes.
Mighty Marvel Masterworks of the original X-Men, and then there's a gap, and it's a 3-year gap, almost 3 years, between X-Men number 67 and X-Men 93, because as you all know, and I'm telling you right now, here's Giant Size X-Men was the first appearance of the all-new, all-different X-Men. Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Sunfire, Wolverine, Banshee, Thunderbird.
Well, Wolverine in more action, because even in the book, it's like, hey, I saw your battle with Hulk.
Yes.
And then it's
The
like
little editor's
the little
note, yes.
editor's note to go find the comic book, which
And
I love.
I miss the editor's notes because they told you where to go.
They don't do that no more.
They don't do. I have not seen an editor's note in forever.
Marvel, DC,
I know.
get your butts in gear. Come on, bring back
But it's
editor's
like-
notes.
But it's like thought balloons as well, because you see them in the caption, the dialogue boxes.
Yeah.
Where
So-
it's like they're brooding and they're like, this doesn't, and it feels like a film noir. But
big time.
back in the day, we had thought balloons, so it's like, wow, I wonder if Lois really likes me or she's in love with Superman.
I can't believe, didn't Kevin tell him to ditch the droid and get
Yeah, I know.
an Apple phone?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes, because I
What's
could
up?
do that in a week.
What's
All
up?
right,
What's
you
up?
can do that in a week. It's easy. Yeah, what's up with that?
Leave me alone.
Oh, Jesus. So I came down from the big man. So back in the day, the X-Men were 4 white guys, a white girl, and a bald white guy in a wheelchair who taught those 4 white guys and 1 white girl. And that was the extent of, it's a product of its day.
Mhm.
And it was an exclusive school, Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, and it was a very exclusive school because there were only 5 students, which is really weird when you think about it. But that was the
Super exclusive.
exactly that was the hook.
Yeah.
They were teenagers. They were like you and me. They were mutants. So they, by accident or birth, they had powers, which set them apart from Spider-Man, who got bitten by a radioactive spider, and the Fantastic Four, who took a joyride in a rocket ship and got powers, or Bruce Banner, who stood in front of a gamma bomb and got powers instead of just lesions all over his body, or blown up himself.
Yeah.
So they're hated and feared by mankind because of their powers, whereas the Fantastic Four are loved and embraced by mankind because of their powers, which that always boggled my mind. It's like mutants. Why call yourself a mutant then if it's going to be like that much of a problem?
Fantastic Four are just space mutants.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah, they got
Their mutant gene was brought on because of something that happened in space.
exactly, and that's
So-
the whole thing. It never made any sense to me. So, so there are these people who are feared and hated by humanity, and yet they still use their powers in service of humanity. That's Charles Xavier's dream. Whereas they introduce us in the first issue to Magneto, who's gathers his own team of X-Men, if you will, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which I think is a stupid name. Never
the
put
Brotherhood of Evil
evil.
Mutants.
Yes. Why throw evil in your name? Why limit yourself? That's like, we're I don't know.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I hear the complaint.
It's really stupid.
Yeah,
You're limiting yourself.
It's like having a sign that says "Evil Fortress" this way.
Right, exactly. With a big neon arrow.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just don't advertise it. Or if you're the Brotherhood of Mutants, be a Brotherhood of Mutants, and humanity sucks. We're about to take over. You don't have to. That's not necessarily evil. So I mean, I've never understood I'm evil. People wring their hands and twirl their mustache.
Yeah, no,
it's stupid. So
when you pronounce yourself as evil, I automatically assume you are the least evil person that I'm going to be seeing in this book. But I really enjoyed Giant Size X-Men.
Well,
I loved all those character introductions.
The best evil are people like Thanos, right? Because Thanos truly believed.
Oh yeah,
that he was doing the right thing.
That's that's the deal with Magneto. That's why he.
No, but he's calling himself evil. Now Doom is like Richards is a bitch punk. Reed Richards.
Mike just called out Reed Richards, world star.
I said Dr. Doom. Although
you think he's in the back now.
Doom called Richards a bitch punk, and
that's awesome.
And it's true.
Yeah.
And
there is no lie.
There's a tweet out there that's making the rounds, and somebody actually went through all of their what ifs, and they're like, in all the what ifs and all the multitude of the multiverse there's one planet with utopia. There's one Earth that has utopian future, past, present, future, that is, humanity has risen up, and, we are just fucking awesome. Yeah. And that's the one in which Dr. Doom took over. And I'm like, that tracks. That's about right. Right. Yeah, that's, Doom only had one thing for his subjects in Latveria, and that's that Doom commands you be happy. It's like, dude, that's
okay.
That's all right. I can do that.
Sure, I'm happy. It's a small world after all. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and just keep singing, motherfucker, because that's what Doom wants. So
be happy.
Yes, and
don't worry.
And if you look at thank you. If you look at Latveria, it's very Disney-esque. It's very Epcot. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And there's no unemployment. There's no drug addiction because hey, I admit to myself, to another human being, that the exact nature of my wrongs. If Doom's there, I'm fucked because he's disintegrating me. So
did you ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show?
No.
This is a reference for those out there. There's no war in Ba Sing Se. Oh my God, no! But I hear you when it comes to that utopian environment for that world. Okay, I can dig it. But in terms of this book, though, I didn't know that there was an original lineup of X-Men. I had an idea, but I didn't know that Wolverine, Storm, and all them kind of came in later.
No, they came in later.
And
94 issues later.
And Kurt Wagner,
yes,
came in. His introduction is probably my favorite, where he's just like, "You want to see me?" Just jumps right into the crowd.
He did a little crowd diving. So yeah, that's but for between issue 67 and 93. Mm-hmm. It was all reprints. They reprinted. They went back to 12 and 13 and reprinted all of the original X-Men, which is a strange business model back in the day. But you have to understand there was logic behind it. Marvel had an agreement with their printers that was owned by DC Comics, National Periodicals. Oh. They owned. And they had to print a certain number or they couldn't print at all. So X-Men it was printed, and like 99% of these came back. So it's really tough to find.
Came
those.
back because people were
Came back
like,
'cause they
"Why
got
did
stripped.
you?" Oh, okay.
No, they got stripped, and they're like, no one bought them off the rack, but they kept printing them. In today's day and
That is
age,
kinda weird.
they get canceled if they drop down like by 5. We've got a print run of 10,000, and we only sold 9,995.
It sounds like
Cancel it.
It sounds like to me Marvel kind of flip flops between two extreme. It's either like, oh, we'll just reprint all the back issues. All right, nah, that didn't work. Let's cancel it if it goes under a certain number.
Well, they needed to. They were going to bring. They were going to bring another comic book out.
Okay.
So they were going to try something else, and that's when Marvel started to get more and more in the printing, and I think something broke DC's hold on the printing, because it was all printed in Detroit or up in Connecticut. I forget where, but it was really actually kind of cool to see the printing, press go on. Charlton Comics never had that problem because they own their own printing.
If you own your own press, you're ahead of the curve,
right? And that's what Marvel eventually ended up doing. They're like, "Screw you, DC!" Once they had enough money to do that, and that's when they broke the stranglehold, and that's when Marvel started to go like great guns.
Okay,
and this is after Giant Size X-Men, because Giant Size was like all over the place in 74, 75. Spider-Man got 5 giant sizes. The Avengers had 4. Even the Defenders had 3.
Oh, wow.
Luke Cage had 2. And
who had 1?
X-Men had 2.
Okay.
X-Men did have 2. But the other one was, which boggles my mind, but they reprinted Neil Adams, a couple of the stories that he had done, he and Roy Thomas.
Speaking of which, someone had just pointed out in the comments that I believe it's his birthday today, Neil Adams.
Oh, happy birthday, Neil
happy
Adams.
birthday,
Good
Neil.
for you, Neil.
So thank you for pointing that out, Dante.
I just wanted to, by the way, just to let you know, we have a full class this morning. We have, just give it a shout out.
Oh, we're taking a roll?
Ed, yes, Edward. We have Johnny, Dante. We have Ryan. We have Jill, Beth.
All the homies are here.
All the homies, that's right. Danielle has joined us, and we
hello everybody.
Damien, Chrissy, Joseph,
and Johnny. Aaron. Thank you so much for coming down and buying some stuff from the guy in the middle. Love it.
Chrissy, I know.
Good morning,
Thanks,
everybody.
Thank
you for thanks for joining in. It's always wonderful to see you.
For anyone who's joining late, we're explaining why between issues 67 and 93, the X-Men were just reprints because they were about to be canceled, and for 3 years they went. They did
just
that.
reprinting,
and they were about to.
They were
canceled.
like, there's something in this line, and they were right on the money.
But this is so true. You always have to go through the dawn, or the darkness, to get to the dawn.
Yeah.
So they had to go through a very bad period to get to that point.
Fun fact: that's why my dad's name was PM Dawn.
I love it. I love that. That is fantastic.
Oh man. But yeah, I adored that book. But it was so funny because especially in the first 2 chapters, I was reading it and I was like, Giant Size X-Men. I was like, this should just be called Giant Size Cojones, because what Xavier has to end up doing in those first 2 books, like when he approaches Storm.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he's like, you're not a god. But I was like, yo, chill. Like I was worried for him for a minute, but she was like, I sense the sincerity in your eyes.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, you're going up to what you hope isn't a god and telling her that, hey, you're actually a mutant and we need you.
Yeah. He knows, but it's also this. She can throw, just like Samuel L. Jackson, throw a lightning bolt up your ass, Zeus. she can do that. She can actually give him an electrical enema. Which is like ballsy.
My God. Yeah, no, it's true.
Now, Nightcrawler he just looks like a vampire.
Yeah.
And even going up to Wolverine, who's absolutely psychotic in the beginning of the X-Men. Nuts.
Yeah. So. I also where they find him, I also found very funny, because I was just like, because I remember all the movies and the lore for Wolverine where it was like he went through all these awful experiments and all this stuff, and then in the book it's just like, I need you, Wolverine. all right, I'm out. Here's my resignation.
Well, he was part of the Canadian Secret Service.
Yeah.
And he was part of the Canadian Secret Service, and he cut ties. Did you notice that? He's like, I'm cutting ties with you guys, and he actually cuts a guy's tie.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's literally like one of my favorite. Yeah, no, that was one of my favorite moments.
Very on the nose. I'm like, holy crap! But okay,
if there's moments I want to see in live action, as silly as they would be, it's that one.
Him cutting somebody's tie.
Yeah, just my resignation.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they didn't have anything planned for that. I mean, they had sort of like sketched out the outer part of Wolverine. Like there was no deep dive.
Not yet.
Because they had said that his gloves held those the claws. The claws weren't a part of him. The claws were part of the costume.
He was just a strong, angry dude.
Strong, angry dude with animal senses and
Canadian.
Canadian. Which is weird because most of the
Canadian brothers and sisters.
Most of the Canadians I've met have been very polite, unlike Wolverine, who's a ball-busting.
Well, there has
bastard.
to be the foil, right, so that you can recognize the good. There has to be the light. There has to be the dark. So he's the
darker.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is very innocent. Even Storm, who was a goddess, she had a very simple life.
Yeah, her introduction was actually
pretty
insane.
badass. Yeah.
I loved this quote. This was not quote. At least one of the first couple of pages. At least from Kurt. At least from Nightcrawler. At least if I die, it will be as a man. Ironically, as the astonishing leap alone lends doubt to Kurt Wagner's humanity.
That sucks. I mean, no. So the dude can jump.
So what? He can jump.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this book, and I'm gonna keep going with the other issues.
You better, because we're gonna keep going with it.
So here was the other thing that I told you before the show. So it turns out that my mom has a copy of the follow-up book, and I was so confused because I was like, "Wait, I need this copy for work. Where is my? Oh, that's yours.
Oh, gotcha.
Literally the next one.
Fantastic. That's great, because then you're gonna be introduced to the Phoenix. No spoilers, folks. I mean, I'm spoiling a 40-year-old thing, but it's all right.
Bill, you're my number one fan.
That is Austin. Bill McCaslin is Christian's number one fan.
You heard it here first, awesome. Folks. And anything after, sorry, Bill's got claim.
And yes, Desiderio. I love that name, Desiderio.
Oh yeah,
Desiderio Rojas. Sabretooth is also, he's a Canuck with attitude. That's pretty much right.
Yeah. So in this line of X-Men now, because this establishes the new lineup, at least for this era.
Right.
So moving forward, and this is kind of the more known version of the X-Men.
This is, yes.
Do you think that there's a reason that they went with this crew instead of the prior? Because
the prior didn't work.
Oh, just because they didn't work?
Because they were sort of canceled after 66 issues. They stopped printing them, and they popped up sporadically.
They went on hiatus.
Well, yeah, and they popped up sporadically in the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Avengers used them once. Captain America used them twice. And that was pretty much it. And I think they were in Marvel Team Up, number 4, if I'm not mistaken. But you never saw them. It was like, oh, crap. All right, well, these guys are hanging out. I think, and they were in, I think Iceman was in an issue of Spider-Man.
Now, was this the kick in the pants that kind of revamped the X-Men line? Like, did it? Like, I know you told me before.
It absolutely did.
Yeah,
oh my god, yeah. Because you would not have New Mutants now if it weren't for giant-sized X-Men. You wouldn't have X-Force. You wouldn't have the X-Factor. All the billions of X titles that are out there now. Krakoa was the first mutant that they went up against the new X-Men in giant size. And now Krakoa is, they're living on their old foe. They're like fleas just infesting him, which is kind of creepy when you think about it.
Yeah. I hope that Krakoa as a concept is introduced into the MCU, because that is...
It already is.
It is?
Yes. In the new X-Men, in our right now X-Men, that Krakoa is their mutant sanctuary. It's their safe hold.
I'm talking about the MCU.
Oh, in the MCU.
Yeah,
gotcha.
no, I was like, I'm talking with the movies. Like, that would make an insane reveal somehow.
But that would be fucked up. Can you imagine? You're like that.
Exactly.
That would shift people's comprehension of stuff. They're like, oh my God, the Native Americans were right. We should treat the land well. And boy,
this land is not your
Yeah,
land.
seriously. Oh shit.
Oh, I got it. I'm on it. Guys, so just
Delivery!
I know. Thank you so much. I'm going to go look at that. He's fine.
Excellent.
Just letting you know, we're doing a time check. It's 10 o'clock. We have David Crownson coming on in a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know if you want to get to picks of the week. And I know you guys are really dying to
All right,
talk
cool.
about this.
Oh my God. Yes,
Oh
we do.
yes.
So I'm
we
going to
are.
do a really quick. We're gonna
do
our
the
picks
comics
of the week. Yeah, 5 comics of the week.
Let's
Every
do it.
week, I pick out 5 comics that are going to be the that are already like our top sellers. So and actually really good as well. So DC Pride, Tim Drake special. Here we have Robin, Tim Drake, Red Robin, whatever you want to call him. He's a pretty damn good detective. So we open up on Tim, who is trying to find. There's a bunch of kidnappings of teenagers in Gotham City. Tim wants to find out why, and in doing so, he has to use his big brain to dig deep inside of what do they call it? The stream that is Tim. I have no idea, but
yeah, I'm lost on that.
yeah, there you go. But, yeah, me too. But forget it. But Tim has to actually confront his own
Inner demons.
No, his own sexuality. I mean,
Oh, in the book?
Oh,
This
in the
is-
book, yeah.
This is his coming out book?
This is no, he already came out, but this is his book for like embracing those feelings and like getting in touch
okay.
with them. So,
Oh, that's perfect for Pride
Yeah,
Month. Oh, perfect.
which is yes,
DC Pride.
and
All right, what we
straight
got
on the
next?
heels of this is Superman, son of Kal-El.
Ah,
Which is I love this book. I love Jonathan Kent as Superman. I think that he is a really kick-ass successor to Kal-El. So here we have him going up against, and he teams up with, a lot of the superheroes in the DC universe.
ooh.
So he I'm not going to say trades on his friendship, but he's more linked. And his father's pretty damn linked up to all the heroes in the DCU.
I'd say so. He's
But
Superman. Well, former.
Jonathan, even more. And he calls in a couple favors, and he's going up against, there's an island it's called Gamora, run by Henry Bendix. Anyone who ever read Warren Ellis's Stormwatch is familiar with that name. Henry Bendix is a douchebag.
What
yeah.
hero mantle would you be the most intimidated to take up? Like if
Like
somehow
the
it had
mantle
happened.
of the bat, the mantle of the bat would be pretty intimidating. Mainly because you don't get the powers that go with it. If you were gonna Superman would probably be the easiest
Yeah.
in terms of
Adjusting.
well, you're like, I've got all this power and it's really cool. But adjusting wouldn't be my first thing. I'd be like, how do I do this and not,
Not
get
fuck up.
corrupted, not get corrupted? And and what are my limitations? So I think that every one of these mantles has like their learning curve.
Yeah. Let me know in the comments, people. I'm curious about your answer. Which hero mantle would you be the most intimidated?
Yeah,
to
I'd
pick
have
up.
to. I would answer Batman for
Yeah.
me,
I
or
would.
Batman or Captain America. Those two.
You want to know a crazy answer? I mean, your two are obvious, but mine honestly would probably be Green Lantern. Because
Really?
think about it. I'm a normie on Earth. At this point, I know superheroes exist, but if
Okay.
aliens are foreign and new to me, being a Green Lantern then unlocks a whole universe of new ideas and stuff that I had never even known existed.
But if superheroes existed on Earth, many of our superheroes are aliens.
That's true.
So you've got Superman who looks just like us. You got Hawkman. There was a Green Lantern who brought his buddies to Earth.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of them were aliens, and you're like, wow, they're kind of ugly.
But
So, then you'd have to deal with that. So,
yeah, that was mine. All right, what's the next comic?
all right. Speaking of mantles, Captain America,
Oh,
Sentinel of Liberty.
Oh, what a cover!
This is a great cover. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. And it's Cap teaming up with Bucky. And he goes through pretty much his entire history. in the first couple pages, and
okay.
He's moving into a new place.
Just a refresher.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you find out that his shield isn't exactly what it's meant to be. I can't go into more specifics than that, but it's actually pretty dope.
What are the words made out of on the cover?
The entire cover is made up of words like Steve Rogers, Sentinel of Liberty, Bucky Barnes, Avenger, the Falcon, Sharon Rogers.
Okay.
Or Sharon Rogers. Sharon
Carter.
Sharon Carter. Thank you. Joe Simon, Jack Kirby, the Acrobat, Mr. Hyde. It's got a whole bunch of people in here who, Mark Waid. Yeah, you got all these people who wrote,
Wow.
penciled it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
A wonderful cover. All right, what we got next?
This one speaks for itself. What if Miles Morales became Thor?
Yo, what?
Yeah, what if Miles Morales became Thor? So the what ifs have been really cool. What if Miles Morales became Captain America? What if he became Wolverine? What if he became the Hulk? And now what if he becomes Thor? Now the next one, and I can't spoil it for you. I could, but I'm not going to. It's going to be pretty badass. So
hold on. You need to show off that cover because
this is a really
that cover is dope. It not only does it have Miles as Thor, but I love how it turns from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Bifrost.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Oh, wait a minute. That's weird. I thought that was for Pride Month. I'm kidding. I really didn't.
And if it was, so what? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Who gives a shit?
All right.
And from Boom Studios, this is and this is weird because I've been spotlighting a lot of
Boom.
well, not just Boom. I mean,
Oh, by the
indies.
way, Mark Lamb wants to know the what ifs are one-offs, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's a series of what if
It is.
books,
But number
each
5 is
story stands alone.
Number 5 is a
Mhm.
culmination of all of them.
Ah.
I didn't want to give that away, but thank you, Mark, making me give it away. Alice
Mark
Ever
comes
After.
late, ruins the whole thing.
Exactly. This is Alice Through the Looking Glass. This is real world now and juxtaposed with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And it's pretty badass. I'm going to show you one thing. I'm not going to show this to everybody.
Whoa.
I know.
Okay.
Just a little messed up. It's really messed
just a
up.
bit.
Yeah.
I
But
think
I think you should
Yeah.
pick this up. It's a I don't know how many issue series, but Dan Panosian's been doing it, and he's a great writer. So always liked him.
sweet.
I know.
That's great.
Yeah, I know you're not a big fan of that
yeah,
stuff,
you know
but
what?
still.
It's funny because that's one of the things we kind of talked about, even though we probably should have kept it for the podcast. And I guess we can kind of go into that because we're done with our top 5, right? So
Yep.
Yes, we are. So
go
that's
to your
top 5.
local comic book store, pick up these books, read them. If you're local to the stash and we're your store, come in, talk to us about it. Let us know what you think of the books. We were talking about what new series we were watching and following, and I was just saying, for instance, The Boys, which from what I hear and see people talking about has done, is spectacular, has attracted a lot of attention, lots of really rabid fans, super happy for the writers and everyone working on the show and the actors. It's not something that I enjoy because it's there's a lot of things about it that are very triggering for
It's
me
hyper
personally.
violent.
It's hyper violent and hypersexual, and that's just like I go to the world of comics and
As an
fantasy
escape?
to escape from the real world. I'm okay. I know what the real world's about.
Yeah.
From a very early age, I was introduced to the real world with all the gloves off. So I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, I'm not looking for
So
we're
when
into
you
the
when you
nitty-gritty.
see heroes in such a skewed light, it's very much like, oh, come on, that's
I
my
just-
happy place,
yeah,
and you're turning it real gory.
Yeah. And
That's fair.
Yeah, I totally get like the whole, every human being's got a light and a dark side. I respect that storyline. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. I'm definitely looking, like when I got back into comics, and I got back into comics with the X-Men during grad school. That's exactly what I was looking for. Like I had gotten a real big dose of, this is the real world. And I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to I'm going to spiral out of control into like this depression if this is the real world. And I saw the X-Men cartoon show actually one morning as I was
95.
waking up, and then got back into the comics. And that's what back then that's what I was looking for. Good versus evil, good wins. Good gets beat up a little bit, but in the end, everything works out okay.
Yeah.
Like That's me.
No,
Very simple, very
hey, listen.
straightforward.
You know what? If you're going to be
You
a
know,
Brotherhood of Mutants, you might as well throw the word evil in there. So, yeah, why the hell not? No, I get it.
No,
Yeah,
trust
yeah,
me,
yeah,
I do get
Yeah.
it. My mom is kind of that person too, to an extent. But I personally with the boys in particular, I love the flip on how they portray a comic book world. Yeah, it's gory and hyper violent, but like beyond that, it is great storytelling. So
Yeah.
I
totally get that.
and it is a great show. I've
Mhm.
enjoyed it thoroughly so far. And if it's not your thing, it's okay.
And I'm going to put this out there. The show is better than the comic book.
Really?
It's better than the source material. Yes. And that's
You're
not
giving that
something
much credit to Seth Rogen?
I am. Actually, oddly enough, I am because Seth Rogen completely fucked up Preacher for me. So, which, Brian Quinn of the Impractical Jokers is a huge fan of Preacher, but I couldn't get past season 1. And I
never
tried.
watched Preacher.
I tried to watch Preacher, and I was like, oh crap. And I made it to episode like 4 or 5. And I'm like, this is not my Preacher. I mean, if you're gonna take from the source material, take from the goddamn source material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just really, really tough for me to get through. But this, I stopped watching because I spent every waking moment with this lady and love you, and I will not subject you to that.
Listen.
Yeah, all right. Then I'm taking my hour
one of
a
the
week.
good things, right? Like we look at the world and we're like, oh, sometimes it's hard to look, right? But one of the great things about the world we live in now is that we have all these wonderful things, all this technology, all these mediums, and it allows people to tell stories, even if we're looking at the same story from a million different perspectives and viewpoints. And some of them are, cotton candy and fireworks, and some of them are, the Balrog, and Gandalf, facing it off on the, so it's a good time to be alive because whatever you need, however you need to hear the story, someone is telling it in a version that appeals to you. And I do love that. I'm just saying, I think we could all
I don't think you
give
need
each other the grace to
that
be
was
able to be like,
you didn't need to
choices.
do that.
that was well put.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's great, but
But
you're apologizing for something
oversharing
that
here,
well, yeah,
oversharing
you're
here.
You have nothing to
apologizing for
apologize
something
for.
that you had nothing to apologize for. I'm like, I have no idea why
Well,
you're.
because I always I want to support like every single storyteller and
don't.
every single story
No,
out
I
there.
mean, you
because
can't.
I do believe it's important, even though I don't can't personally consume it happily.
So
you
you support and love the idea that a show like The Boys could even exist.
absolutely.
Oh, hell
Which
yeah.
is
Absolutely.
that
I-
absolutely.
I support the concept of Preacher being a TV show,
Yeah.
just not my Preacher.
Even,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just
I'll give you another
saying that.
example.
Hashtag
I'll give
not
you
my
another
preacher.
example. We were doing a little Twitter back and forth the other night, like Ms. Marvel. Everybody who saw the premiere, I saw the premiere, Michael saw the premiere. Did you see the premiere?
I did not, but you guys can spoil
Okay.
it. I'm not really.
They're not gonna really
we're not
spoil
gonna
it, but-
spoil it, but except to say that it is a wonderfully if the first episode's any indication, it's a wonderfully conceived, portrayed, written, acted, coming of age tale, a la like Hughes.
Jersey
Think
represent.
Think of Hughes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Think of the Hughes.
No,
thing,
you're right. Jersey
Except
represent.
except that there's some brilliant ways that they work in the show. If you haven't seen it, you really owe it to yourself to sit down and see it, even if, like for me, it's not your thing. And we were kind of going back and forth. It's like you respect the story and you respect the work, even though like coming of age flicks, the teens with the ennui and oh my gosh, and it's
Honey,
just
think about
not
our
that's not my
think about our
that's not my
audience.
thing.
Do not use the word ennui because they're gonna think
You think
something.
our audience is stupid?
Oh my
No, our
God! Of
audience
course you are. No,
No,
I'm kidding.
our audience
No.
has fucking
Okay.
Google.
They-
They
they're-
can go Google
they're-
that shit. Our audience
They're
is
them big book
Don't.
learners.
I know they know.
They-
you
big
know what
book words.
ennui
They're
means.
subscribed to
You
Comic
don't?
College.
You can Google it.
They
Yeah.
support higher forms of
Actually,
education.
are they all
Exactly,
paid up in their tuition? Because if not, I say we start
Listen,
canceling
listen.
some.
Don't
of these
scare
guys.
'em.
I can guarantee you that a Claremont run of X-Men has the word ennui in it at some point.
Oh, I know it does.
I
Which
guarantee
is-
that it
which
does.
is why
So
I'm like,
all of our fans
watch
have
out.
already had to look it up once, so they all know.
No,
what
they
ennui is,
just
right?
skip over it, like I don't need to know that stupid ass word.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, and that's awesome, and that's
Julia's word of the week.
ennui. Yes.
Something-
But yes, actually, and I happen to love
You do.
John Hughes
You
movies.
do.
He
could watch, what was it, 15 Candles?
Yes,
16.
15 candles.
15
That's all right, honey,
The
because
Breakfast Club.
I called it 10
all
Mile.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. You could watch it all day long.
I could.
Every day.
Weird Science.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Me, I'm like, motherfucker, go get a job. Shut the fuck up. Stop whining. Go get a job.
That's fair.
And I'm like, I have a job. What the hell?
You know who has the exact same feeling about coming of age movies? He just posted about it on Twitter. Dr. Josh Roush.
I wasn't going to out
Josh
him,
Roush.
but
Josh posted the same thing, and I was like,
thank you for someone besides me saying it, because like I wanted to be the one to say it. I'm like, don't be that person. But I'm like, if Josh is that person, I can be that person too.
Yeah,
So
no, that's.
thank you for giving me the
I
courage
get
to
it,
be that
and
person, Josh.
that's perfectly fine.
the prequel, 15 Candles.
15 candles. Yeah. That'll work. You could go all the way back, buddy.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
All right.
guys,
So yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. May not be for everybody, but
No, it was. You guys have to see it. It's a great show. It is a great show.
it does, and
If
it
you're
speaks to
into-
so many things,
Yes.
and they take some liberties as the.
Don't you love the fun? It's fun. It is
Yeah.
so freaking, like, it's cute, but not in a stupid saccharine way. Like, they do things in the show, and when you watch it, if you haven't already seen it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like how they go back and forth, they phase in and out between like reality and then like the
Of
comic-y
course,
stuff,
yeah.
comic book stuff, yeah. And you'll see what I mean. And it's really brilliant.
I'm
It's
so
really
sorry.
brilliant.
Edward
Congrats
just
to the
posted my
team.
favorite
Congrats
comment:
to the
15
team.
Candles, The Brunch Club, Goofy Science, Pretty in Purple. Great
Yeah.
movie.
Somewhere in the multiverse, Edward, those are out
Somewhere
there.
that's
right,
a real
that's
freaking
right,
thing.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yeah, you don't want to know which Earth that one is, Edward.
Yeah, but no, like,
Um,
those movies
Ed,
are
you're
some
awesome.
of my favorites. They're so good. But you know what else is one of my favorites? It's a comic book. It's called Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer.
There we
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Wow,
And we,
that's not a ham-fisted segue or anything.
No, that's
hey, I made it work, damn it.
That you did very well. Thank you.
But we have a
You all right, honey?
special guest in the queue waiting for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Mr. David Crownson, aka
Hey guys, how's it going?
doing?
David, you're in a car.
Yes, yes, I am.
He's making it work.
That's what we're doing. That we should call this "Making It Work." That's
That's
our
right.
new episode.
Making
it work.
Making
Oh,
it
Make
work.
that's the right
Making it
one.
work. Making it work. A new podcast.
So welcome to the show, David. How are you today, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. I was laughing at the 15 Candles prequel.
That'll be that should be in the background of any books or movies that I'll make moving forward. It'll just be on the poster. Coming soon, 15 Candles.
How about exam day for Ferris Bueller? That'll be
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. So everybody, for those who don't already know David, you should get to know him. David Crownson is a top-notch creator. He is the CEO and founder of Kingwood Comics, and he has created a fantastic series. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, which is going to be
Fantastic
a live
book.
action, right, David? Am I correct?
yes, yes,
Live
a
action.
live
Do a
action.
live action by Disney property, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So,
She's like, I'm
David-
going to lead you through this path.
I'm just making
We know
sure.
how litigious Disney is.
Listen. We know how quickly things can change in the world of like
Yeah.
fantasy
Oh my God,
and
yes.
entertainment. So I'm just making sure that we're all still on track. But today we invited David back. David very kindly offered to be the first person to in the store to relaunch our in-store series of events. So he was in a couple of months ago, and he had Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer with him. But at the time, he was working on launching his next project, which is also something to keep an eye out for. And your Kickstarter launched. You met your first goal. Tell us a little bit about the project and how it's going, David.
Well, it's called Nightmare in Newark, and it's about a woman named Zoe Alvarez, who is, coming out to her family, and she has lots of anxiety about coming out to her family. So in the middle of her, coming out to her family on Thanksgiving, because they never do anything in like sci-fi or genre that takes place during Thanksgiving, except for like Spider-Man, like this first Sam Raimi one. Anywho, in the middle of her coming out to her family, an alien invasion just like erupts in her town. So she has to like survive this alien invasion and come out to her family. It's Friday meets Cloverfield, and horror and comedy ensues.
I love everything about that. I love especially your dedication to putting some respect on Thanksgiving's name in terms of pop culture.
Yes.
I think we're all forgetting planes, trains, and automobiles, please.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
All right,
Oh
that's-
yes.
But in comic book form.
All right,
okay?
good enough. Fantastic. David,
This is important.
This is very important. And it's War of the Worlds meets trains, planes, and automobiles.
I love everything
Yes.
about that. Especially, I love everything about that, especially the Newark setting. I love seeing Jersey represented in media like that.
You do.
So what was the initial like inkling of the idea that you were like, oh, this is something that like I have to pursue, whether or not someone will help me make it happen or I make it happen myself. But like, what for you stood out to you in that idea that you were like, we're doing this. I don't care how, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Basically, I was offered. It started out as an offer from like another publisher, and they wanted me and Cortland Ellis, who drew issue 1 of Harriet, to contribute like a story to this horror anthology book. And so I started just kind of thinking of different ideas for different like kind of a fun short horror thing. And I came up with this idea. I'm like, oh, what if you had to like confess something to your family, and it was something you were like really nervous about and stressed out about, and then something crazy scary happened. And it started from that, and I kind of started working on different scenarios. Like at one point it was going to be a guy telling his family that he was dating someone outside of his race, or it was someone who was Muslim dating someone who was Christian and confessing to their family. But none of those, like, the stakes didn't really feel like as high. And I think I settled on one of the scenarios where it was a man dating outside his race, and he was going to confess it to his family on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, this still doesn't feel like. But I'll commit to this anyway. I'll figure out a way to make this interesting and fun. But I created a character where he had a cousin who was gay, and she was so much fun to write. And I was like, wait, what if I like swap it and just make it about her, and just make it about her coming out to her family on Thanksgiving? That's cool. But what's going to be the scary, thing that's going to happen? So I was still working on this idea, and then the publishing and the editor, they kind of canceled this anthology book before I could like turn in basically like a treatment for this. So I had all this work to myself that I've been working on. And in the middle of that, I was living in Harlem, New York at the time. I had a bed bug outbreak in the building. So like everyone... yeah, it was like this crazy infestation of like bed bugs all over the apartment. Thankfully, like, the only thing I lost were khakis. That's it.
God.
And nothing of value was lost.
Yes, nothing of value. I think my favorite like khakis that I can wear with any outfit was like lost. Was lost in the fire.
I feel your pain, buddy.
Yes, khakis are hard to come by.
The hate in your voice, Christian. Oh my God. Oh.
It goes with everything. But like from that, I was like, wait, what if it was like an alien invasion that happened, and these aliens like looked like bedbug kind of Cloverfield, War of the World type of aliens, and they're like eating you and stuff like that. So I decided to make it that. And at first I was going to have it take place in like New York City. But like everything takes place in New York City. And because of this whole bed bug thing, I was homeless. So I had to like move back home with my family in New Jersey. And I was just kind of, I was just stuck at like Newark Penn Station, like, cause I was like transitioning, and I was like, oh, like, wait, like, why don't I just set this in Newark? I'll just set this in Newark. Yeah, so that's basically what led to this. And also, speaking of Newark, the reason why I am in my car is because I just flew back from LA. I'm not homeless, everybody.
Hey!
Like my flight like got in at like 8:30 this morning, so I was like, I'm gonna make this. I said 10:15, I'm gonna make it.
Oh my goodness.
God bless you, David.
But we appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Seriously.
I was
Up
going
if you wanna-
to thank you, Dante. Thank you for posting the link. David, you want to talk a little bit about your crowd, your Kickstarter, and how we can make sure that everything good happens for Nightmare in Newark?
Yeah, so it's an 80-page story. Originally, it was gonna be like a 30. I was gonna do like one issue. Then it's gonna be a 7-chapter series. And I had to really flesh out this character and flesh out the whole supporting cast because it's like a fun, diverse, quirky group of people.
Well, we know one guy's dating outside of his race, so that's
Yes, and there was like a quirky neighbor, and like her literary agent. Yeah, I just wanted to really just flesh out the characters. It's 80 pages. It's drawn by Brett Parson, who does the Tank Girl books, and he also did the Goon books as well. And Brett Parson is like, Brett Parson is like just a legend. He's like Archie, but like if Archie was directed by David Fincher. That's how I describe like Brett Parson's way of doing art, because it's like cute, quirky characters, but they're always in dark like circumstances. But yeah, like so Brett Parson, he's drawing every single issue. And it's 80 pages of his work and like my words and story. And it's just a fun, great collaboration. And right now we hit our initial goal and we're trying to hit our stretch goal so we can send you awesome folks with like a pledge of $100 or more, just a whole bunch of coffee mugs, stickers, t-shirts, hoodies. And we also have a whole bunch of variant covers by Nicholas Draper Ivy, who does the Static book, and Cortland Ellis, who does Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and is now doing a whole bunch of like anime Legend of Korra.
Are some of those are some of those covers exclusive just for the Kickstarter backers, or is it just like it's going to be something that'll be out there eventually?
I know these will only be Kickstarter exclusive. Nicholas Draper Ivy's cover and Cortland Ellis's cover, they are only Kickstarter exclusive.
Nice.
So
Nice.
back us. This is the only time you'll get it. This is the only time you'll get this art.
Now, David, before we're going to say goodbye, but I will be contacting you via email immediately after to see if we can get you on the schedule to come. And when it's published, we want to have you back in the store if we can get you. If you have to come back out.
Of course.
I do have one more thing I'd want to ask him before we head out, though. So one of the things I really enjoyed about Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and this is what I'm really looking forward to in Nightmare in Newark, is your books have a very cinematic feel. Because I'm also a filmmaker, so I'm reading it and I'm like, I can totally see this playing out like as a film, as a show, which is why I'm so excited to hear that Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer is actually going to be becoming a show somewhere. So what was it like? I mean, it's one thing to see your characters on the page because you created them, you drew them out, and then it's out there in the world. But what was it like to see Harriet Tubman and Demon Slayer in live action for the first time, where you were like, oh my God, like my characters are now tangibly real in a way that I was not expecting?
Yeah. Like the craziest thing, like, I was in LA to meet Prentice and just kind of meet that whole entire team. And it was just surreal and like weird to, like 5-6 years ago, this was like a funny, goofy idea in my head that made me feel good. And I was kind of entertaining myself with this idea. And now it's weird saying like, hey, like, I'm in a room with a bunch of people and they're like, hey, okay, this is what it looks like in the comic. If we film here in Atlanta, we can get this look and achieve how this looks in the comic, and just talking to wardrobe people, and they'll ask me all sorts of questions. They're like, "Why is it like this?" And I'm like, "Yo, I just thought it looked cool." Like it really, but like I always like try to be like, okay, I can't just say like, yeah, it just looked really cool to me, so that's why I did it. Like I'm trying to like delve deeper than like, yeah, I'm like you're shit out of luck. It just looked really cool.
Yeah, but that helps you.
That
helps you in the long run, though.
Yeah, that's you putting your foot down. It's like I don't care if it makes internal logic sense. It's because it looks badass. That's why. And
exactly.
Fair enough. All right, good enough.
But then it helps you in the long run, because then it's like, oh, I wonder why does she wear that particular style or that piece of gear, and it allows you to delve deeper into maybe future stories that you could even down the line. But that's exactly what ended up happening. I'm just so hyped for the show, though. So like, is there any details out there that you can talk about in terms of like where it's at, or
right now it's oh man, I can't talk about who we're like casting for it, but like it is, you can, if you just scroll through my Instagram, you can kind of figure out. It's one of my favorite, because I've always like do like possible casting things, but that's on my Instagram somewhere. And I think we were talking to different directors as well. And I know it's going to be on a streaming service that that rhymes with Vulu. That's all I know.
No idea what that could be.
What could that be?
There you go.
No clue. But okay.
Yeah, it's going to be on rhymes with Vulu. Yeah. I know it's really hard. I know I picked something very difficult, but
you're like,
I'm stumped.
Can you talk about the director? Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I can't.
You got it.
Hold on. You and I spoke about the director. Is it the same person? I know you don't have to say who it is. Just, is it the same person that we were talking about, or?
Oh no. This is someone different. I will say. Okay. Prentice Penny has worked with this director previously. That's all I can say.
Okay.
I can say.
We got you.
All right. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And it is a black woman. That's all. That's it. It's a black woman.
Black woman.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
that's
my
awesome.
God, I got it. Oh yeah. Okay, great, fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
I do.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
He thinks
I don't.
Thinks he might
I think I do.
Okay.
I can solve that puzzle in 3 notes.
Maybe not.
But
it'll be pretty exciting.
I'm hyped to read this book, man. I'm going to go donate to the Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
Just so I can get those variant covers.
I'm my kids really need to go to college? No, not really.
We also have a tier where you can have a cameo in the book as whatever you want. And you can have Brett Parson draw you in, and also have Brett takes head sketches. So if you want like him to draw you as like Wolverine or Wonder Woman, he will do that with.
That's pretty cool.
And on top of that, you get variant covers, posters, hoodies,
all the goodies.
And all the goodies with $700 or more.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. All right. David, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to get off the plane in time, jump in your car.
Thank you for sharing your time with us, man.
David, roll down your windows. You must be dying in there. It's got to be hot.
Oh yeah, like before my windows were down, but I'm parked in like a quick check, and there was just a bunch of like tractor trailer like truck drivers like just yelling and screaming and arguing about coffee for some odd reason.
Okay.
I'm
New
like,
Jersey.
Yeah, it's New Jersey. And like arguing which is better, Wawa or Quick Check. I'm like, I can't have that on the podcast.
Oh, shit. Now we're gonna argue for the next half hour,
Quick
which is
poll,
better.
Though, everybody on.
Don't do it.
Quick
Yes.
Check or
Quick Check or yes, it's either Wawa or Why Are You Wrong? So
Oh,
wow.
okay. We have
Damn.
one vote right here.
Okay.
David, thank you so much.
David,
you go home and
thank
get
you.
some sleep, okay?
I will. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for having me. Take
No
care.
problem. Take care, boss.
Bye.
And
Thanks.
check out David's check out David's Kickstarter. His quick starter. Why not?
We posted the link in the
We
comments.
posted the link in
guys.
the comments. And Christian, can you bring it up for us? Because it's
Yeah,
under
no
mine
problem.
or the stashes. It's a big one. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
we'll link it.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
linked.
link. Yeah, and I'm telling
Awesome.
you, all those things, very nice little perks, people.
Absolutely.
Get that book, people.
Absolutely.
David, take care. Looking
You
forward
too.
to anything that you do. Take care.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day. Bye.
You got
You
it.
too.
Thanks, David.
What an awesome dude.
He is
Oh
so
my God.
fantastic. I
You know
love
how
David.
mad I was that I wasn't able to make it when he was here? I hope he's here again.
He will be.
Yeah.
I mean, if we
He
can
just
get
said he
him-
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
just promised.
He
promised.
did
That's right.
promise, but hey, he could be like, you know what? I don't have time for you.
Listen,
Peons.
I'm gonna jump around a little bit, hit some highlights before
Right.
we have to sign off.
Let's
'cause
do it.
Is
We
about
do have to sign
10:35.
off. Yes.
So just wanted to thank Marty Grabstein again for everyone who was able to join us last
Marty
Saturday.
was amazing.
Marty Grabstein, the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog, was here. There were a ton of people who came to see him, and they also got to enjoy the stash. A ton of people who came to the stash and were blown away when they got to meet him. It was a wild day. I don't know how the man has any voice left whatsoever, but he was thoroughly charming, just the nicest person,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a pleasure. It's always great to have him in the house. So thank you, Marty, for coming. July 2nd, Saturday, July 2nd. That's in a little over 2 weeks. Chris Campana is going to be here. Chris Campana, for those of you, Chris Campana Art, Chris Campana period art. You want to go check him out on the website. He is an extraordinary artist, comic book artist, and storyteller.
Yeah,
He's
see
gonna
him.
be in-
See him before he hits big, folks, because he is.
He's
overdue to hit. So,
He's already done a bunch of titles that
Mhm.
everyone is going to recognize, and
but he's going to be like one of those superstar artists that they're like, I saw him at the stash before he became a big shot,
yeah.
and he'll never go back there again.
Well, he's attracting. Let me just say, we can't give any kind of details, but he's attracted the attention of some pretty big
Oh
time
my God, yeah.
players, and he will be harder and harder to book as time goes on. So we are delighted that he's going to be able to join us on July 2nd. Saturday, July 2nd. So please come out and see Chris. You'll see us start to put some stuff out there on
He'll be
social
here
media
from
too.
noon till 12.
Yeah, noon to 12,
Just like
11,
everybody.
or 11 to 12. Yeah, whenever he decides to show.
He'll be
We're
here
gonna-
from
we're gonna
11 to
open the-
5,
we're gonna
actually.
open the door for him.
Yeah, he's going to be doing an in-store. He's going to be doing commissions. He'll be doing head sketches. You can buy original art from him.
Absolutely.
He's going to have prints. He'll do a signing. It's Chris is a great guy and a fantastic artist. You're not going to be
and
disappointed.
And he's doing a special variant cover exclusively
for
Mm-hmm.
Comic Nights
Ooh.
and the Secret Stash, Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, Death Dealer #2, which is amazing.
And for those of you who don't know, who aren't familiar with Death Dealer, although probably most of you are, go look it up.
Frank Frazetta.
Frank Frazetta.
Ah.
Yep.
Say less.
Then we have Mike McCone. We're still trying to nail down a date because, calendar stuff is always fun. And in October for Spooktober, we have Richard Davis, author and creator of Cult of Dracula, coming in on October 1st, Alton Simpson, October 29th. We've got a couple other good folks in the works that we're working on some dates for. So we will.
Are we
let you
married to
know.
Spooktober?
No, you
All
don't
right.
like it. You think it's done.
Shocktober?
Shocktober? Oh, maybe Shocktober. I like that.
I like
I
Shocktober.
like
Shocktober.
Shocktober too.
Nice.
All right, it's now Shocktober. See how easy life can be
I'm
when
just
you
asking.
when you just agree to agree.
Yeah. Is that all the housekeeping?
Just one more thing. For those of you who haven't had a chance to, actually 2 more things. Haven't had a chance, 3 more things. Haven't had a chance to check out
5 more things.
the newly revamped jayandsilentbob.com site. Tommy Lincoln and his crew did a phenomenal job at Stay Fresh. They did a phenomenal job. Go check it out. I think you're going to love it. We love it.
It is a cool new site.
It is a very cool new site. We invite you to jump on Discord for the Local 404. You may have seen some social media posts going out with a link to Discord. Local 404, if you don't know what it is, please go check out social media. You will be able to see lots of folks have been posting the mission statement. But very briefly, it is a completely volunteer effort on the part of fans for Viewisk Universe and Smodco to make sure that every live event is welcoming and everyone gets the most out of it. So please go check that out. And just one little thing, I'm just so excited. We have a couple of new items, Stash exclusive merch that we're working on. I will be, as we get approvals and start to move along, be posting a little bit more about that. So that for those of you who are the collectors in us and are interested, you'll be seeing more of that soon.
And anyone can be a reservist here at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. You can make Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash your local comic book store because we will ship anywhere in the continental United States. Well, I'm not. Sorry, if you're in Hawaii, you're shit out of luck. You're in Alaska.
For now.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
If you're in Hawaii, you're probably not reading comic books. So
that's yeah.
I mean,
I'd be lounging on the beach.
My idea of paradise is reading comic books on the beach. So
we've actually had if you're looking for a nice gift, we actually had a few months ago, and we've had several more since then. Someone called the store and said that they were looking for the best gift for their fiance, and called up and signed them up as a reservist, and then
that's cool.
Gifted them, said, "Hey, you get to call the stash and set up your pull list." And yeah.
Okay.
So it was So it turned out to be really nice.
Yeah.
The guy was super excited.
And Chris Hewitt, look in your mailbox for the next week. Christopher Hewitt, I'm calling it out. You're getting a. He signed up. He's got some books coming to him, and
fantastic.
I've also got a special little surprise for you, buddy.
Also, you hear it first from Ed Weird. He is a reservist. Their packing is great, and the customer service is fantastic.
Yes, although we did screw Edward out of a comic book. It was my fault. Sorry, buddy.
I was making us look great, and then you decided to just be like, I'm going to tell him the problem.
It's a cell phone.
It's my fault, and we're taking care of it, Edward. And we'll have a little something extra in your box, too. So... See, man. That's where the customer service being fantastic kicks in. We admit our mistakes and we rectify them.
Nice little fix.
Yes,
I could dig
can
that.
Can we go up to who was that? Aaron.
Aaron, where is it? Is it over here?
No, he's up a little bit more. Aaron, the one that I pointed out to you.
Oh, the khakis thing?
No, not the khakis thing. Hold on, go down a little bit.
Looking for a comment, people.
One comment, just 1 second. No, it's not even here anymore. I hope you didn't delete it. It said litigious.
I know where that is.
There you go.
Litigious. Remember your audience.
Sorry, folks. Yeah, I'm guilty of I'm hoisted by my own petard.
Oh well.
Now
I don't know my audience.
Yes, Mr. Cordes, you were gonna.
Before we go,
yes,
there is something I wanted to show you, Mike.
Excellent.
Because I know you are a Star Trek fan.
I am.
You do enjoy the Next Generation.
I enjoy the entire galaxy of Star Trek. I enjoy the
way
entire
better
galaxy
answer
of Star Wars. I'm not an either or kind of guy, and you know what? That's what I'm trying to like make people understand. It's not either or. Don't make people make you believe that just because you're a Star Wars guy doesn't mean you can't appreciate Star Trek.
Facts.
If you're a DC Comics guy, you can't enjoy Marvel or the Independents. For God's sakes,
I'm calling out one of my
people.
I'm calling out one of my best friends, Dimitri, who always gives me shit because I say I'm a Star Trek fan because he loves Star Wars. I'm like, you can be both. You can be both. You can be a fan of both. You can be a fan of all of them. Even I don't know, Battlestar Galactica. Although why you want to go there? The original, not the really cool remake back in the 2000s, which was amazing. But I bring it up because you are also, like me, a fan of animation. Love cartoons. There's I'm blank. It's probably in the video, but there's a company on YouTube that took some Star Trek Next Generation audio and turned it into Star Trek the animated series like animation. That is so awesome. Can they do that with our podcast? Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Wow, fantastic. So I wanted to show you because if anyone was going to dig it, it was going to be you. You're going to watch it with us, people. Watch it with us, folks. Take a look at this.
Direct hit, Deck 9.
Damage report.
Structural latching system integrity breached.
Prepare to take us out of here, number 1.
Fire up the engines, half impulse till we clear the nebula, then punch it up to warp 9.
Ready phasers, load forward torpedo bays. Engage.
Warp tractor beam is attempting to lock on.
Fire at will. Continue rotating shield frequency.
Shields failing. Tractor beam has locked on.
I love the mouth movement.
Oh, that's awesome. Take that, suckhole.
Also,
It's no use. They've already adapted to the new frequencies.
Punch him in the face.
oh, you think he's gonna do that? He heard you.
Oh no!
It'd be really like, you suck.
And I think you're right. They did steal it from the 67 Spider-Man.
I love this. Oh, this is amazing.
Your ship is disengaging. Leaving at warp speed.
Maintain pursuit.
Warp vessel, warp 9. 9.4, 9.6.
Stay with him. Regular O'Brien. Fix on the captain.
Negative, sir. Some kind of interference. Can't log in on a signal.
Senior officer reports to the bridge.
Sir, the coordinates they have set on a direct course. Sector 001. The Terrances.
Earth.
Why did it have to be Earth? That was awesome.
I knew you'd love that.
Man.
Someone had sent me that yesterday, and I was geeking at it.
That's
I was like,
filmation shit, and that's like, oh my god, I love that.
I love everything about that because they also got the shading right.
Yeah.
Like the cells had like just that little bit of shadow that like just sold its cheapness. I love everything about that.
You know, it'd be really
shit.
cool if they had the A's, but the A on his chest being gold, and then sometimes being like just white.
Oh,
No,
my
miscolored.
God.
That would be fantastic.
That was made by a company, Gazette Creations, I believe. If I'm
Let's
not
give a tip to the
I-
hat of
hold on, I have it up on. I have it here. Oh, just Gazelle Automations.
Automations.
Okay.
Awesome. Gazelle, you guys are the best. We love you.
That was amazing.
That
But I
was
had to show you.
fantastic.
I think that'll be the end of our show. Then
That's fantastic. We made that work.
we did.
Holy cow.
That was awesome. Thank you guys for
Thanks,
another
everybody.
awesome
Have a great
episode
week.
of
Folks,
Live from the Secret Stash.
we
I
will
can't wait to see you next
See
week.
you next week. Absolutely.
Most
Thank you so
definitely.
much. Next week, we're going to have Chris Campana on, and you guys enjoy.
Take care.